Hey folks, it's Patriot Nurse. We're going to talk today about the measles outbreak and why I'm not concerned about unvaccinated folks. So the measles here. The measles was considered a rite of passage. It was something to joke about and was the butt of comedic action even as far back as the Brady Bunch. You know, this is something in recent memory for most people, that measles was normal and it was just a part of life that you went through, not that dissimilar from chickenpox. Yeah, I was one of those kids who had it, and you know what? I'm alive. Now, you could argue that I didn't come out unscathed for whatever reason, but the bottom line is that these diseases were considered normal rites of passage. Why then is the fear and the panic suddenly starting? Oh, these cases are coming back. Oh, it's so deadly. Oh, wait, no, it's not deadly. The bottom line is that the MMR vaccine makes a lot of money for people, and it is what keeps a lot of clinics, especially well baby clinics, in the black, because in many cases these vaccines are acquired at either free or little cost through government programs, which the taxpayers fund, read you or my tax money. They are acquired by practices, and then they are sold at a premium or charged to insurance companies with well baby visits. That is the reason why people are really afraid about the vaccine waning popularity at this point, because it is a source of revenue for a lot of practices. Now, you can cloak it in benevolence and, oh, it's all for the children, but the bottom line is, no, it's not all for the children, because if it was truly for the children, it would be in the parents' best interest to make that determination themselves. But in many cases, these government entities are all about forced vaccination and fomenting the popular opinion that it's for the common good, right? It's for the greater good, as if we've never heard that one before, that everybody be vaccinated against their will, that it is better that we violate people's civil rights and medically rape their children than to uphold the rights of parents, the rights of conscience, and definitely the rights of faith-based exemptions for people. And that's a troubling point. I'm not worried about people who are unvaccinated. I'm not at all. Because when it comes right down to it, if you're one of these people who's like, oh, vaccines work, we have faith, better living through science, right? We have faith in it. What are you worried about? Oh, the herd immunity. That's what we're worried about. Okay, so your security and your freedom depends on depriving other people of their rights. Sounds like a real American ideal. The bottom line is, you either believe in freedom or you believe in the state and the totality of the power of the state. And a lot of these doctors and a lot of these people with these alphabet soup medical organizations, they do not believe in freedom. They're statists. They are statists. And if you look at a lot of the positions that are being supported by definitely the American Nurses Association, which I am not and will not ever, have not ever been a part of, and different family practice organizations, I think the American Academy of Pediatrics is in there. Yeah, they're statists. They support positions of disarmament. They support positions of gun control. They are against parents' rights. And overall, they have supported throughout time abortion and infanticide when it comes right down to it. So I don't really care what these people's positions are. I care about upholding freedom and natural rights. And no individual alive has a right that comes at the expense of another person. You don't have a right to live in a world that is disease-free. You don't. If you bring children into this world, they do not have a right to live in a disease-free world. You made the decision. I love children, right? I'm all about happy families, but you made the decision to have that child. You made the decision to participate in the activity that results in pregnancy, and therefore you assumed all possible risk that would come, including heartbreak from having that child sick and, God forbid, worse. So no one has a right to live in a disease-free world. I'm all about supporting health practices and health promotion that decrease the overall incidence of disease. But no government has the right to forcibly vaccinate people and to defile a human being and to violate their civil rights. When it comes right down to it, there are a lot of people who have a great many objections to vaccines, and not just because of autism concerns. They have concerns regarding the health, safety, and efficacy of the vaccines themselves, of definitely the adjuvants that are part of them. And when it comes right down to it, there are people like me who have a great deal of concern regarding the historic and current use of tissue isolated from aborted babies in these vaccines. I'll put a link actually up here to the doctor who is responsible for developing many vaccines, who just flat out owns that he used the fetuses, babies, of over, I want to say it was over 100 babies. It was definitely 90 and above when you watch the entire video. I'm not okay with that. I'm not okay with using aborted babies to accomplish a scientific point. And I heard somebody say something one time, oh, Dr. Mengele, in the Nazi concentration camps, his science came at a great cost, right? For the greater good. It came at great cost, and it was used. Actually, no, it wasn't used. Dr. Mengele's Dr. Mengele's scientific experiments and this, basically the resulting information that came out of it was universally blackballed by the medical community, especially the respected medical community at the time, because they recognized that the ends do not justify the means. If you want a disease-free world, let's start with controlling our border, that's for sure, because the whole herd immunity has a prerequisite that your herd size stays contained and relatively self-perpetuating, which we do not have in a country where we can't control our own border and we can't control the people that are coming in here from other places. Number two, the food. If we're eating foods that are so nasty and so highly processed that they have all possible nutrient and vitamin content either cooked out of them, bred out of them, or genetically modified out of them, we're not going to have fundamentally strong immune systems, no matter how much needle and crap that you shove into people's bodies. So no, I don't believe that vaccinating people is going to fix that. When you have a fundamentally screwed up diet, secondary to horrible farming practices, topsoil depletion, all that other stuff, you're not going to fix that with injecting people with crap. For anybody who's ever owned livestock, you know full well that if your livestock are healthy and that they're eating well and that they're getting the appropriate amounts of sunlight and fresh water and appropriate feeds with not overcrowding them in their pens, they tend to be relatively healthy overall. But when you start shoving them into pens, when you start feeding them horrible food, when their water isn't clean, and when you have them in environments where essentially they are prone to sickness because they're shoved together in filth, yeah, that begets disease. And that's one of the things that we're looking at, you know, like these people who want to foist vaccines on people and violate people's rights, and definitely violate the rights of parents. They're statists. And they're the same in every generation. They love the power of the state. They crave the power of the state. They detest the power of the individual, which is why when you look at these organizations who are supporting forced vaccination, they also support issues like gun control. They're very, very much against the rights of the individual, and they hate freedom when it comes right down to it. So that's why I'm not really concerned about measles. When it comes right down to it, the thing that concerns me far more than measles is the state and the power of the state and the power of people that crave power. They tend to avalanche upon it. And whenever a little bit of power gets given to them, they want more and more. And that's what I've seen in my entire career with the medical industrial complex, and definitely the power of the marriage of the medical complex and the medical community with the power of the state. Those things need to stay far, far away. Because when it comes right down to it, a government that can give you everything, include giving you that free and sterile environment, can also take it away from you. I hope you enjoyed the video today. If you did, please subscribe to me, Patriot Nurse. You can also support me on Subscribestar and Patreon, as well as cryptocurrency. I got links in the box below. Hope it was helpful for y'all. For now, it's Patriot Nurse signing off, and I'll see y'all later. Bye.